Yes, caller. Good night and welcome to the Marcia Week Show.
Good night, Marcia. Good night, Dave. Good night, loyal opposition.
Good night, good night, good night, good night again. Yes, ma'am. Go right
This
ahead.
is a very good conversation. This is a very, well, I think needed conversation, about fathers and mothers. But I also think that there is something missing. Like, women cannot expect that men know like what's on your mind. You have to be able to say, like, you have to be able to say to them what you expect, what you expect, and especially in a relationship. And I think that this is where the breakdown is. Like, if you don't from the very beginning say what you expect in this relationship, then it's not going to, it's going to fall apart whether you have children or not. So I think that there's something missing. Like, I don't hear anyone say that this is what we discussed and what I expect it to happen, or whether y'all stay together or the relationship ends. There has to be a level of expectation either way.
Oh, so I see. You're saying even before it happens that you're discussing what is going to happen ahead of time.
Exactly. You have to say to, him or her, like, this is what I expect to happen. This is what I expect to go on. Like, and then as it goes through, you have children and things, there may be a breakdown. You still have to reiterate, this is what I expect. So for I'm going to say for the father to, or the male in the relationship to know what is needed, and you have the women. I think we fall short as women and not saying that. We just automatically assume that they know what we're thinking, and that is a big problem. No, I don't believe that anyone goes into a relationship for it to end. I believe that there's some expectations, and we don't talk about them. We don't say it up front. And then when it falls short, I thought you should have, that Monday night, after the fact. And that's where, the trauma, and also trauma. We don't talk about the trauma that the like these young ladies that you had on the show. There's going to be a level of trauma when they become adults. When they get in their relationship, there's a level of trauma. They didn't have their father. So what do they expect from a male figure? Because really, your mother and your father is really the relationship, that they're projecting the relationship that you should have. So yes. There has to be a level of understanding in the relationship that there's going to be some sort of trauma, and we don't think about that. Someone don't think about, like, what was their past. What was there? Do we ask, was your mother married? Was your father married? Because that's a cycle also. If the parents weren't married, the grandmother, the great grandmother weren't married, that is a cycle. So that creates that situation also, where you don't expect to be married and you don't expect anything because they're not used to asking for it. So I find that falls short, and in the very beginning, and then it leads to a complete total breakdown because it was never discussed from the start, the expectations.
Very interesting about that communication, saying what we expect to happen. Interesting.
Yeah, like I said, we as women, we just assume that they know. And then we just like, okay, you didn't do this, and then like whether he says I didn't know that's what you wanted, we just assume. So that's, and the men, I think I listen to here, and I listen to, there's some heartbreak to what they think the woman is thinking. They don't know what she's thinking. It's tragic for a relationship to end. So that is a level of bitterness. And that can also, the child gets caught up in that situation. But we have to communicate ahead of time what we expect out of this situation, whether it's, to stay together, we're breaking up, what are we going to do with the children? We have to discuss that. We just can't lead with high heads and then no communication.
But somebody wrote here that relationships go south sometimes after all of that reasoning.
It can, but you still have to be, you still
Okay.
have to have some grounding to say, okay, this is not for us. This is not going to last for us. But we have children. We still have to co-parent. We still have to be civilized with the children. I can't stand you anymore, but the children don't need to know that.
Yes, 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 yes. Well, caller, excellent, very, very well said. That communication is key, and as you said, the point is though, even though everybody might not stick with it, but if we continue to communicate, at least we know what is in that person's head, you know,
Exactly.
and
I feel for some of the fathers that don't feel that they can play a part because it's a financial, it should not be a financial. The child should know you, whether you have a dime in your pocket or not, because there's so many things to do with your child and you don't have any money. And kids want you to take them to the park, pick them up after school. You don't work, pick them up after school, be out there after school and walk them home. So if you don't have a job, find something to do after school, do the homework. You're helping her out by doing some of these things. So I don't take that as an excuse. I just think that we just have to be a little bit more creative. I don't have the funds, but this is what I can do. I can pick them up after school. I can make sure homework is done in the evening.
I agree with that. Being creative about it and being intentional. I want this relationship. I might not be working right now. And you know what? You can change that whole expectation.
Exactly.
By just being there, as you said, doing homework with them, picking them, walking them home from school, just doing things that might not cost a lot of money to do,
Exactly.
but it shows me, because that's one of the things, Michelle, when I finally met my father, like when I was an adult now, I asked, well, why couldn't you um turn up at school? I asked him that, and I asked him in tears, crying, because I can't understand it. And his thing was that I didn't have any money. I'm not talking to you about money.
That's how they feel. Like you can't. The money is not substituted, and I don't even think the court even believes that. The court doesn't believe that you should not come around because you can't pay your child support. You still have to be there. My situation is a little different. I had my father, but I didn't have my mother. So imagine that, a teenage girl growing up without her mother. So I had some things to work through myself. It works both ways.
Yeah. So it um well, all right, well, caller, thank you so much. There are a couple of people I have backed up to I have to actually call them back. But thank you so much, caller. Very interesting point. And again, this is Michelle, and Michelle is one of those who contributed significantly to this weekend. And where one of the workers, one of those, Pauline, she said to me, Michelle, this is part of Elevate too, she said. She said, this is Elevate too, because you're elevating.
Exactly.
Because the children are with their dad. And in fact, it was at an Elevate meeting that the father said, at an Elevate class, taking a child home. And we live close to where we do the Elevate. So I was walking the child home. I think that's how it went. And when we dropped off the child, I told the dad about the dinner, and he said, I would like to bring my daughter. And I said, I never thought of it. And he said, but it's a Father's Day, isn't it? And I said, yes. He said, I want to come with my daughter.
Well, that's where you have to be intentional. You want to be with your daughter, you have to be intentional.
Yes, and that's it. I want to be with my daughter. And because he said that, it actually changed the whole thing. We know how to look for funding to make sure that every father could bring a child.
But Marcia, this is so systemic. And the reason I say systemic is because there's an expression, once a man, twice a baby.
Yes.
Eventually, we will need someone.
Yes.
Okay. And if you have not done your part, how do you expect someone to come to your need when you are older? We all need somebody when we get older.
Yes.
How is that going to work?
Yes. But somebody here is saying, I know I gotta let you go because I have at least 2 or 3 callers. I think that I have to get them in tonight. The person said, Africa Bridge, To say that is not to understand the innate nature of a man to provide. He might prefer not to be seen because he cannot provide.
Exactly. I mean, I think that's societal. You should not feel that because you can't provide that you should not show up. But that is a societal thing. Yes, he needs to have all the dollars, this and that. But when you met the person, did he have those dollars? Did he have those dollars in the beginning? So how do you expect him to turn out the same thing now that you've broken up and y'all have a child together? He didn't have it in the beginning.
Yeah, but what they're saying is that it is part of his DNA to want to provide. And there's another dad here saying that that real man will feel useless in that position.
But was he born? Was he raised like that? Was he raised? You know, that's why I say you have to really look back at the person, how the person was raised, to understand how they think about what their position is. Because maybe his father didn't show up, so now he feels he doesn't have the money. Now he doesn't show up. So that's a cycle.
Yeah, a cycle there. Well, thank you so much, Michelle, for calling.
All right. Good night, Barbados.
Thank
I love you.
Thank you, and thanks for your all that you do. I know. I heard that we have two computers coming, which will be going to we're hoping for it to go to Carrington's Village. There's going to be something starting up there, so we're going to spread out this summer. We're going to spread out like a dish towel. All right.
Keep up the good work.
Yes, thank you. And I can't wait to hear that particular song. I'm putting you on the spot.
All right.
Yeah, all right then, my dear. God bless you, Michelle. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Yes, bye-bye. Hi, caller. Good night. And let me caller before you let me tell the others. I'm going to get to you. There are two men that want to call in, and I'm going to get to these two men. All right, go ahead, Kathy. And we have to go quick tonight because it's 9:41. Yes. But go ahead.
Yes, right. We have to understand that men and women are different. And once we understand that they are different, it helps in how we deal with relationships and how, not that it wouldn't get out of whack if you're angry, but they become angles. Women may become creative in trying to raise the family. A man may not be as creative because that is not the way he's structured. So if we understand how they are structured, not just how society raised them, but how they are structured, you can't understand, but at least you have an understanding of, it helps. And what I find as well is that mentorship is lacking on both sides, for both the mother and the father. There need to be some level of mentorship. Mentorship in the relationship, mentorship in being a parent. Because it is not a book work. It is not one size fit all. So that is lacking severely, mentorship, especially for the men. So they may think, oh, I must only provide, that's because that is who I am, whatever. But there is more to them than just that. So because of a lack of mentorship to cause the entire being to flourish, then it can become thwart. Once it becomes thwart, it is hard to find develop a whole relationship. And I find that a lot of the younger parents in particular, as soon as there's a relationship and there's a child, something always happens to end their relationship. And then they go and they start another one. Too often that happens. Too often.
It's like a cycle.
Because there is a lack of mentorship. Yes, lack of mentorship in terms of teaching people how to develop a relationship. we teach maths, we teach English, but really do we really get into the mentorship part of developing a person? The females will do it a lot. As you had said earlier, even in the homes, there are females. When in the home, even in the children's home, there's a lot of females, and we understand some of the reason for that. But the men are left to run the little boys are left to run the streets and coming at whatever time,
right?
Not too early, but whatever time. But there's no sit down and mentor. There's no mentorship.
Well, as you're talking about mentorship, very very well said, caller. And you talked about how men are made, and intrinsically they want to provide. I don't know if you heard, and I accept that completely. But I found it very interesting when we were speaking to the young girls. I don't know if you were watching it. And I said to them, if your dad could give you $1,000 a week, but you never see him, there's no connection with him, would you want that? And they said no. So I don't know if that's where the mentorship would come in, to be able to say to the man, I know this is how you are wired. However, you will do more damage to the child to stay away if you don't have the finances. Is that what you mean?
Right. No, mentorship is to teach them that even though they don't have the finances is not all.
Right. I think that, right. I just wanted to bring that out because sometimes people might feel, well, because they are wired, that's how they're wired, like we're wired to be maternal, to take care. They're wired there to provide. But if you're in a position where you can't provide, I think the older men should be mentoring them, to tell them it's until you can, you have to find other ways to be there, to be present.
Correct. Because in the meantime, the child is growing up and you are losing time in being there for that child because you're not able to provide financially. And that is not a good state because you can't buy back the time. You may do your best in the future, but you can't get it back. And I have one other issue that I'm concerned about. We may not have the time to discuss, but it is the African brothers and sisters coming to Barbados, and the reason why that is the case. And I don't think it is to build the nation. I don't think it is to grow the nation numerically. I think it's just a personal issue for people to put money in their pockets.
Yes, that is happening.
If these people that are coming were interested in building nation, they would have stayed and built their own. But they're not going to come here to build ours. They come in here to opt for an opportunity for themselves and whoever made the agreement with them to come here, which would only be for a temporary time. Temporary,
yeah. That's my belief
and
as
that
well.
Is concerning.
Yeah, it is very concerning that that's not their motivation. Yeah. Well, thank you.
And it makes it difficult for us who are trying to build this nation to really get it to the place where it needs to be.
Yes. Thank you. And I'm hoping that we can pick that up another night. We didn't expect the program to go this way, but we just flow with it. Yeah.
That's okay. I'll let the men come and say their part because the men need to speak and we need to listen.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yes. Okay. Let me see if I can get back some of those men that were calling. I'm going to see what I can do to get them back online. And in the meantime, okay, I have there's hi, good night, welcome to the Marcia Week Show.
Well, greetings each and everyone.
Yes,
everyone around the world, everyone is listening.
I know that voice. I know that voice. That's the voice of the man that made the police run away with their tail between their legs.
Yes, for sure, for sure, for sure. Yeah.
So those who don't know, this is Stephen, who is on the call, and Stephen, he quoted different parts of the law, when the police and the authorities came to move him. And so Stephen is on. Stephen, what's on your mind this evening?
I was listening to the show, and it was very, very interesting
Yes.
tonight. There's a lot more things we'd like to talk to, but I would still like to put in my little one or two here.
Yes, yes, of course.
With the children.
Yes.
Yes, for sure. You see, we have to remember something, right? That fear, right, has colonized us, and religion has divided us. Right? Right. The first thing we need to know is that here. Now, do you remember back there in 2019 when they said that the children could go to school or they want to go to school? Everything 11 years old, they could make their own decision. They could do the next, they could do the third. Well, I think that year was the real turnaround for these children. All right? I mean, yes, we were bad before, but at that point, everything turned like crazy.
Yes.
Until now, it's still going on. All right? Okay, another thing here too. Well, you have women and men. Yes, man have a child. No, they have a disagreement now. Whether they focus on the child or focus on the important things, they will try to put the child against the man. But you're finding it good, and this is that, and that's the term. But as again, the problem of us too, and they will always say it. We have to understand that there's only one ways. There ain't 3, 4, and 5. There is one ways. And we have to learn to love each other. And I do not know why black people hate each other like they say. Don't know why. Because at the end of the day, if me in a relationship, we had good times, there will be bad times. Because that means doesn't mean that we support each other on one side, or left you open the streets to hang. Or I used to turn each other against you, or you used to turn each other against me. But that is wrong. You see, and another thing that that's hurt me. The only people that I see this here happening to is the black race. It's the black race. No, look. The Indians still going on to school with their hair cut decent and nice. The white children still going on with it, nice and decent. We the one going along with the black hair. We go along with all the badness, all the craziness, Why we all the time? Why we? Why we?
It's a good point you're making. I often wonder why. I mean, I know that some of these things happen in all races, although I think race is a social construct, but ethnic groups, I do, but some of it is just, I mean, it's like we have it really bad,
Yes. Hold on. You see, the problem of us, right? We have this racism things, this racism in our minds too much. Now, you remember the time when the Indians had came down and they bought the Muslim people had came and they bought, and all that was the bought the Muslim community, right? And they buried their own people, right?
Yes.
You remember the time when the white lady was missing, when everybody took the guns and when all the people for the white lady. People always put their ways first. And then nothing wrong when you put in your ways first. It's ways first. And if we would learn to do that, we would be a lot further. Because you see, another thing, we live on fear. Or fear to see it. Don't do this here. Don't do the next. Don't do the third. And if you check the other races, if they want something, they go after it. the decade, okay, then we look back at Trump. Trump wanted oil. We do. Even any cake. We need to get our priorities straight.
As a people.
We need to do
as
that.
a people, yes.
Yes, we people need to do that. Look, and this is what we already may saying. You got the biggest house. You got the most money in the world. You got all the gold. But if you don't have integrity, there's nothing, There's nothing.
Yeah.
And our people need to get up and get our head out of the, what we say will be. We need to get our head from down there, though. We need to do that. Right?
Yes.
We need to do that. And if we can do that, we can be able to bring back our children. Because remember, we are the world mother. Let me look for instance again. Mothers, right? Remember Proverbs. What Proverbs here? Proverbs here. Son, obey the instructions of thy father, but honor the laws of thy mother. Galatians 4:26 here. Jerusalem above us all, mother of all. Right? Mother of all. Now look today. Right? Let me look today. The calypso music, the dub music, everything but the woman. The woman here, skill up here, work up a lot of bad things. And what happened? The black woman going along with it.
Yeah.
Jamming and dance. Like it's okay. You understand? You don't say no other way of doing it. But we, and if you say, look, you talk to this person, tell this person, well, look, what you're doing is wrong. Oh, I live my life and was. But at the end of the day, what example are you setting for your children? What example are you setting for them? You are not setting any.
Yes.
You're not setting any. There's nothing so.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Well,
right.
caller, I mean, these are some important points, and I'm so sorry we got to you late, because a lot of this I would love to have discussion with you on, but because of time, because we're now 3 minutes to 10, and there's one caller who has been calling, and I have to take that call. I have to go back and call him, but I have to cut what you're saying short. But I think the audience is getting it, and you have taken the conversation to another level. So I thank you so much for calling.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, thank you.
Right?
Yes.
All right, thank you. You're welcome.
Yes, great job. Right. Thank you. Yeah, that's another part of it there, and I love how this caller took this to another level, and in dealing with us as a people, right, as an ethnic group, our family structure is falling apart because we're following everybody else, and we don't have Paul talk about a reference, and I think it's because a lot of us don't even know our source, where we come from. That is also contributing. But we have our final caller for tonight that I'm sorry, I can't even give him a long time because of the time, but I still have him. Good night, Commissioner. You're going to end off the show for us tonight. Go right ahead.
I actually dropped to sleep. She dropped to sleep.
Yeah.
But anyhow, to make it short, the gentleman that what night is it? I can't remember which night you just come on. He was a former vector control.
Oh, yes, Maurice Gaskin.
Yes. You hear how you do tonight show?
Yes.
I want one. Not me, probably a lot the callers might want, but I promoted it first. I want one of them shows with him.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Like how you do tonight one, you got a long session. People could call in and tell them about the problems with the rats, the mosquitoes, the mice, the water, all this kind of things.
Yes.
That we need some help with.
Yes.
Yes. I'm gonna make it quick. Now I was a different type of father for Father's Day.
I had my what call it? I had my first son give me my first grandson for Father's Day.
Wow.
He born about I think 3 weeks or 2 weeks before Father's Day.
Oh wow! Congratulations, Commissioner.
Yeah, and I studied late when he was talking about the fathers' parties or something like that for the Father's Day luncheon. And I said, Lord, but he's in his 30s.
Yes.
But then, I said, I should have called first and find out if he's one of them or do he in his 30s. If he was born,
yes, he could have, because is any father who's 40 years and under. So next year, because the men want to do it again, so we want to plan it. We want to start early and plan it for next year.
All right. All right, I can keep you back. Sleep well.
Yes, I am so happy that you could report that you became a grandfather this Father's Day. God bless you. God bless you, especially because you told me your story. I remember that. And so so that is wonderful. The repair is happening.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
That is great, Commissioner. God bless you. Sleep well.
Same to you, ma'am.
And I'm going to take up that recommendation, your suggestion of having that segment on just talking about rats and mice and flies and all of that, and mosquitoes. All right, thank you. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.